CMPRadio.net. It's the station. CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
CMPRadio.net, man. You already know it's your boy Uncle P, and this is the Cultivating Mature Positivity podcast. And I have a very special guest with me. This young man hit me up, right? Shout out to Charles Thompson, Chester Panthers. Shout out to Lamar Shaw, right? Man, coach extraordinary, man, doing everything that he's doing. Post of a couple weeks ago, talking about this young man and his fight to be everything that he wants to be. And he's a father now, you know, he was a son before, a loving son, an excellent football player. Charles said he started the Chester Panthers on their road to domination, which was how many championships did you win?
6.
6 championships, man. So we're going to sit here, we're going to figure out what's going on. What's wrong? I don't know. CMPRadio.net. That's how it goes, man. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Listen, I'm excited for this interview, man. This is, yeah, you see the wall we got, you know what I mean? Like, stuff popping up on the back wall, you feel me? March moments. But, yeah, man, our the whole process behind CMPRadio.net is expanding, and we're doing different things, and I'm trying to get back into the idea of interviewing again. So I'm glad you hit me up. I'm glad you want to have this conversation. But it's not really an interview, bro. It's really about you, because you have a message you want to give to the youth, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. You play football.
Yes.
How old were you when you first started playing football?
About 10, 11 years old.
Why did you first start playing football?
I really ain't have no specific reason.
Right.
My stepfather used to just throw the football to me and stuff.
Right,
I never
right.
was like interested into sport.
How did you catch the football?
With just one hand.
One hand.
Yeah, he taught me how to catch it with one hand.
One hand, right? That's how that's how you create an elite athlete. You don't give them both hands. You say one hand. You got to catch this ball all the time with one hand. Once it's in your mind, it was easy. That's how you caught the ball.
Yeah, it was easy at that.
You know what I mean? So you start playing football, man. How did it feel playing football? Like, I want to go back to your youth when you were having fun, right? How did it feel to be out there with your friends and maybe people you didn't know too much about but learned to be family with?
When I first started off, at Chester Panthers.
Okay.
And when I first went down there, like I actually didn't play nowhere but my neighborhood at that time. So once I started playing for the Chester Panthers, I started to go down Memorial Park.
And where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the McCaffrey Village.
Shout out to the McCaffrey Village, man. What's going on? Go ahead.
And once I went down there, it just turned into like, mostly my first year, it turned into like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of understood how to be a young man and things like that once I went down there. It was great.
It was family down there, right?
Yeah, it was family.
It was family down there.
Always and still is.
So as you're playing football, man, you begin to exude a certain amount of talent. where people are paying attention to you. What was your position?
I played running back. I started off as a tight end, but then I went running back.
Then you went to now, when you were a tight end. That's because you had the one-handed catches.
Yeah,
but they couldn't find a quarterback to get you the ball. So then they just said, you know what? We're gonna just give him the ball. So they gave you the ball. Like, give me your best rushing touchdown yardage game.
It would be my first year when I first started in Little League. Our first game was against, I believe, Cal Wynn.
All right.
And that's when I actually made the switch. Well, Coach Anthony McLean made the switch.
Shout out to Coach McLean.
I was on his team first as
Okay.
a tight end, and then he put me at running back. It was like a tryout. It was like, go at running back. And then after that, it kind of clicked. So I don't really remember
too much
because it was like 2010. But I do remember the championship game that first year there.
Okay.
We played against the West Philly Tar Heels. It was my first year.
Okay.
I remember that. I think I scored the game-winning touchdown. I think we won 7-0.
7-0. Yeah. Hey, that's all that matters. You scored the game-only touchdown and the game-winning touchdown.
I think so, yeah.
Right. So you playing football, man, and life has, growing up in Chester, we understand that there are tons of adverse reactions or adverse conditions that we grow up being accustomed to. Like, what were some of yours?
Growing up, it just was. At first, growing up, my older brother used to fight a lot.
Right.
So it was just like a bunch of fights back then.
Right.
Then as it like more started to graduate, that's when
things start happening. Right.
Start happening.
Right. So you're playing football, and because you quit football, right? You stopped playing football. What was going on in your life to make you feel as though, football just wasn't the answer anymore and you could find better other places?
It wasn't more so finding better.
Right.
It was more so getting sucked into something I didn't have no business doing. So it wasn't really like at one point I like to say I kind of lost it.
Right.
Like I didn't really know myself. I was being a follower. I wanted to be the average Joe. Like everybody I seen.
You weren't the typical follower because there were some things that caused you.
That called me, yes.
Right, that caused you to step out. So you weren't the average follower, but I understand what you're talking about with a follower, right? Because I didn't know the streets until I found out the streets.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
like I wasn't raised in a house that okayed all that stuff, right? So, when you go out there and you become a part of the streets, you learn that you're either all or none. You know what I mean? Like, and you get tired of being called a nerd, a dork, or an athlete, or you got more skills than somebody else. They get jealous and they want you around them, so things can happen to you. But what year was it when you stopped playing football?
2018,
and that was right after high school.
Right after high school. Give
me your best high school game because you kept on playing Chester football. You played for the Panthers and you went to Chester High School. Who's your coach?
My coach was in high school. Was LaDonte Bell.
Right. Shout out to Coach Bell, man. Shout out to Coach Bell. So, best game as a football player in the high.
I would say against Overbrook. I believe my junior year. I think I rushed for 205 yards.
Wow.
And I think 2 touchdowns. I believe.
This was what 2017.
That was 2017.
This when the radio station just started. Right, we started in 2017. That season, and the next season, I was following the football team around. Right, you were there.
I was there 18.
Was I doing that in 18? Maybe
no, I don't think you was doing the live 18.
No, I think I was doing live in 2019. Thanks. I appreciate that. That's okay. That's all right. So 2018, man, you graduate high school. You got colleges looking at you. Name some of the colleges that you had looking at you.
It was Temple, Kutztown. There's a couple. I think Dalval.
Okay.
I can't remember all of them.
But the idea is
there was the 3 that I remember.
You had colleges looking at you, and offering you scholarships.
No, not
full scholarships, but looking at you to say, come here and play here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we'll figure out the money and everything later, because that's what happens, right? You either get a scholarship, they offer you something, or they work it out to a point where it's feasible for you to make the tuition payments and stay on campus. You just stop. So let's go back. Right? I don't know when it started. I don't know when everything started. When did it start getting dark for you?
It started getting dark for me after high school. Maybe in high school, it was things happening too around the thing, but after high school, it started to get dark.
Okay.
Things started to happen. You know, can't really get into too much detail about what happened, but a lot of things happened that was traumatic in my life.
Absolutely.
And it caused me to more so defend myself.
Absolutely.
If anything else.
Right. So you're defending yourself, you're running the streets, you're hanging out, you feel me? And football just isn't important anymore.
No. Lost face of football.
Why?
It got to a point where my mother's house was getting shot at a lot. And it got to the point where I got scared, basically. Absolutely. I wouldn't say I turned into anything because I wasn't no savage. I wasn't no gremlin or anything like that.
But to protect your family.
But to protect myself and to protect my family, I wanted to do what was necessary for myself.
Absolutely.
More of anything. But I wouldn't say that I was a street guy or I was a savage because I was just a scared person, basically. I wasn't what people portray themselves to be. Like I wasn't no savage. I never wanted to be no savage. I never wanted to be any of those things. But certain, things happened. And it kind of turned me to wanting to be those things, to start doing things that's where I go back with the average Joe.
Absolutely.
I started doing things that was basically average to me because a lot of people was doing it as far as, gang banging and fighting and, other things.
Having a dream isn't average. Right?
Exactly.
It's not because everybody doesn't have a dream. And the reason they don't have a dream is because hope has been strangled out of our children, right? Because you had a bright future. And hope was strangled, not by an older person, but people, they could have been older. I don't know who was doing it, but hope was strangled out by people, your peers, the people that were around you, right? They strangle hope right out of you. So you quit playing football, you go to the street. Give me one incident where you knew it wasn't for you, where you said, I don't want to do. And then I need another one where you say, this might be where I'll be for the rest of my life.
All right, so the first thing was my mother.
Right.
Once she started to see me act a certain way, because she knew me since 2010, I was like 10 years old. So growing up, I was always just football. Right. So she know 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I'm at practice. Right. So when I started to run the streets and not coming home and things like that, just the look on her face, it always startled me. You know what I mean? At a point.
Like,
so
my mom was wrong. Like, I ain't never had to worry about you. Your mom worry about you. Young men, man, when we run the street, man, we put so much pressure, so much anxiety, so much grief, so much. Your mother is sitting by her phone waiting for that phone call saying that you're not coming home.
That you're not coming home. Rather you going out to the county jail or you going...
Whatever it is. And she'll be so happy if they say you locked up as opposed to being in the hospital. He got shot. You know what I mean? So just to put all that on your mother, right? You had to be going through something mentally, right? Because I was going through a lot mentally, right? So I understand that. You're out there. Give me an incident where you felt as though, you said, this is what I'm going to do forever. And if you never ran across it, then that's cool.
As far as being in the streets?
Yeah, being in the streets.
Well, my mom's house had got shot one of these specific times. They got shot 5 different times, but this specific time,
your mom's house got shot 5 different times.
Yes, in the course of probably maybe about 10, 15 bullets or more into the house at each time.
Each time, not 10, 15 bullets per 5. No, 10, 15 bullets times 5.
And one time, my mother was getting out the shower, and she had a bathrobe on. She just wound up putting the bathrobe on her bedroom door. And soon as she put it on, she sat down, bullets flew through the door, and bullets flew through the headboard where she was laying.
Oh, my God.
And that's what made me actually get into the streets, where I just felt like all hope was lost, and I kind of lost myself.
I want to talk about the instant when you said, I'm done with football. Where you were, who were you around, if you were around anybody, right, that had any power over your decision or any power over your decisions. Like if you gave anybody, right, you said, yo, I don't think I'm playing football no more. And somebody said to you, no, bro, you got to play. You know what I mean? And if you weren't around nobody and you did it on your own, I understand that too.
I kind of did it. Well, I did do it on my own. Right. A lot of people reached out to me once they figured, seeing me hang on, in the neighborhood I was hanging at. Right. So a lot of people reached out to me like Charles, Lamar, Dennis, Dion, mostly all the Shaws. I was G code actually.
Absolutely.
So it's like a lot of people reached out to me, and they have tried to talk to me, but it got to a point where they had to let me run my course. They was definitely on top of me. They never ever gave up on me.
Right.
That's one thing I can say about all them people I named. Yeah. Even when I was going through the phase of being this so-called street dude or going through the phase of being a football player, the love from them guys never changed. Wow. They always looked at me the same. They always spit the same game to me, call me, check up on me and things like that. And I needed that. And being in the streets, I knew that I let a lot of people down, including myself. I was the main person I let down because football, the NFL was just my thing. I always wanted to just go. Right. So once, I stopped playing, I was more so embarrassed too. That's another thing about it. I was embarrassed about my actions. So I would kind of like hide off, from sometimes out of social media. Right. I see messages from people and won't reply. I was just too embarrassed with myself. I just knew
I could be doing better.
Yeah, I knew I could be doing better. I felt like how I was acting. I felt like
a piece of shit.
A piece of shit, basically.
I know the feeling. But you had people around you, man. Your football family, right? Your brothers that were around you. I want to talk about that time when you said, "I'm done." Like, because you went back to football. You're playing football now.
I'm playing football now. Yeah.
Semi-pro, right?
Semi-pro, yeah.
Right. Playing football now. Back into the swing of things. After how long were you off?
I think it was like 4 years.
4 years, right? Back like you never missed anything. We had this conversation.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because I never like missed a year off of football. Right. So now it's just like semi-pro. It's like you got some dudes out there that's hitting. So I'm kind of getting used to the swing of things right now. Over. So only had 2 games so far. So I'm getting back to the swing of things, but. Like my mental, I'm there. I like it, everything about it. I'm happy.
That's all it's about, right? Give me that time where you said, I have to do something more with my life. I can't sit out here because we were talking. Mm-hmm. You said that time where you didn't get hit, something happened. The guy that you was in the car with got hit.
Yep.
And you felt the bullets flying past you.
Yes.
And they didn't touch you.
No.
Tell me how that felt.
It felt, you can hear them wheezing. You can hear bullets wheezing. So I got used to hearing bullets wheezing because they was coming through the house. Right. And I was always either downstairs or I was, anywhere I was. I only lived inside of a 3-bedroom house on section, like up to McCaff. Right. So it was like a 3-bedroom house. We had a downstairs, living room. Right. It was a front, a side. We had a little opening on the side of the house. So it ain't really too many places you could hide if somebody shooting the front, the side, and the back. Right. So bullets wheezing was
that's what you heard.
What I heard, you know what I mean? But it was weirdly, I can say this, it was something that wasn't shy to me either. Because after the second time, the first time is when you really scared. Right. Second time is when it's like you scared. You really scared. You scared every time, but absolutely, it's a shame that you get used to hearing them. You just get used to it because they flying past you. So it's like it's something that you never want to get used to, but it came normal to me kind of. At a point.
So again, I want to know when you said I got to get back playing football. I got to leave the streets alone. It's not for me. I'm done. Give me that instance.
When I said I was done was about, I would say 2 years ago. Okay. I came to a realization where I always said, I never was a street dude. Right. Never wanted to be a street dude. Right. You know what I mean? So I just came to a realization about myself where I realized that this ain't going to do nothing but lead me somewhere I don't want to be. I never wanted to hurt nobody. Right. I never want to hurt nobody. So it's like before it got to that point where I could get, hurt somebody or get myself hurt to where as though I'm not, no longer here, I just felt like how my mom would feel. Right. Since I've been with my mom forever. Forever, my best friend. Right. It was, I had to make a conscious decision like I got to leave everything alone. Everything got to stop.
When you said you quit football, you didn't quit football just for the streets.
No, I didn't quit for the streets.
Why did you quit?
I quit because I felt like it was the best decision to defend my household and defend myself.
To defend your mother. Now, I want everybody to understand that you didn't just decide to quit. You left the house.
I left.
How long did you leave the house for?
I left the house for maybe about 2 days.
2 days.
And I didn't feel right. Felt like
You was abandoning your responsibilities.
I was abandoning my responsibilities, and I was the youngest.
Right.
But we so like devoted to each other. Our family is we just all devoted. Right. So I felt like if I went to a university for 4 years, you know, I felt like
you walk away.
I walk away, but in the same breath, I felt like if I would have walked away,
everything would be better.
I still could have did what I had to do.
I told you this before. It's not over for you.
Yeah,
yet.
it's not over. Yeah,
you just gotta go a different route. You gotta really want it. Like, you know, God gives us tests all the time, bro. You know, and just because you fail at one point doesn't mean your test is over.
Yep.
You feel me? Will it get harder? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You feel me? But will it be worth it? Fuck yeah. Damn right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I want you to know that. But you got to believe it. Because if you don't believe it, then you'll allow anybody to come to you and spit nothingness in your head. But I don't see that from you. You know what I mean? We've had a couple conversations and I see somebody, you know, who understands where he dropped the ball, and he doesn't want other children, other talented children. We have basketball, we have football, we have soccer, we have baseball. You know what I mean? Like four sports that pay people very good money to pay wherever. You know what I mean? You know, basketball is the it sport right now. Well, I'm gonna say football is the it sport right now.
Yeah,
for real.
Right now.
Basketball was the it sport in Chester for a very long time.
Yes, it was.
You know what I mean? And you know, the people that made it to the NBA, the people that made it past the NBA and smelt the NBA and began to do other things like, you know, being agents or helping people get overseas to play basketball, right? That person lit the next candle for the next person.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, I hate to ask you this question because I know, you know Nakis. You know what I mean? Yeah. And how did you feel when that happened to him? Not to say you're responsible for it because you're not, but do you think that you stopping maybe made sense for him to be in that lifestyle that he chose, or the lifestyle that people think he chose?
Nakis was an
athlete,
a great kid,
right? One in a lifetime, bro.
Believe that the rumors people were saying that he turned to the streets. He didn't turn to the streets. He was actually a great kid. He was a great kid, and he had, you know, he was just a great kid. So speaking on Nakis is kind of different from a lot of these kids. Nakis is maybe the best kid I've seen like in my life. Like that kid was phenomenal.
They said you were just as good.
Yeah. Right. So, but that kid, like in my book, I would say like Nakis he was a star. Right. And I actually got a chance to tell him that, you know, and things like that. But Nakis never stopped. Right. See, a lot of people, or some people, as I may say, portrayed a rumor, you know, that
make it true.
He stopped. Absolutely. No, Nakis is a great kid. Absolutely. Great in school, great basketball player too. Great football player, great son. Right. So his legacy that he built is still his legacy. Absolutely. Nakis never turned to the streets. It was just rumors of people saying different things, you know, and just talking, but they didn't really know Nakis.
No Nakis, right.
Nakis was absolutely, I'm hurting just talking about it, you know, just knowing the kid. He was just phenomenal.
What he could have been, what he could have done, the doors he could have opened up. Like I'm looking at the Dennis Shaw being the head coach of Chester High, man, and seeing the athletes that he's taking around to these D1 schools, and I'm like he could have been right there with them.
Right there with them, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine the twins and Nakis as a running back, like, or Nakis as a cornerback, like whatever position he decided to play, he could have played every position on the field. Every position on the field. Every position on the field, easily. You know, but when I think about you and I say you stopping, you feel me? You don't see any correlation with the log jam that came up from you stopping?
I see the log jam from a couple kids, but I didn't see it from Nakis. Okay. I seen it from different kids that's actually in the streets and kids that people try to. So what I'm basically saying is that you got a lot of people perpetrate a person off how he dressed on Instagram, how his pants sag, or how his hair was. So some people perpetrate people off what they see on Instagram. Right. So you got some kids that I do felt like I logged out. Right. You know, where I hopped in the streets and, you know, I was posting.
He doing it, I'm doing it, right.
You know, so I felt like I did put a log in some of this stuff, but I don't feel like Nakis was ever a part of the log. I feel like he was actually one of the kids that was
Want to break it?
going to break the log. I feel like he was he was it. I'm telling you, like, so I don't feel like, Narquise was part of
The log
me
jam.
stopping the log, but I do feel like I did stop a lot of different kids from,
You made it cool. If you did it.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand. People look up to high school athletes, man.
Yeah.
Little kids that don't see NFL players every day. They look up to high school football players, bro.
Yeah.
And then when you stop, other people like, man, shit, if he out there, I'm going to go out there.
Yeah, I felt
know
like
what I
I
mean?
created
Like-
a log. Yeah.
So now we're back. You're a father now.
Yeah, I'm a father. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right. I want to know what is it what made you call me? What made our conversation was a very deep conversation, right? Where you say I'm gonna let you say what you want to do and why we're here. But where did that come from?
It came from just thinking, that I can have a voice in the city and be a face for these young brothers coming under me. So it's like when I was younger, maybe some schools would bring in different guys from different, not from Chester.
Right.
So I always didn't really listen. It's like you ain't come from, where we come from.
Right.
So I feel like if some of these teenagers have somebody like
You.
my color,
Right.
my hair,
Right.
tattoos,
Right. Boy.
from Chester,
Right.
and you talking to them about what's real
Right.
and what life is and what you've been through, and I feel like I can help. Maybe if it's one kid on the gate, if it's 10 kids on the gate, if I bring one off,
That's a world, bro.
that's a world, because with that one, they all come rolling.
Right.
So my message was, and I got a son now too.
Right.
So my thing was, I just want to help kids. You know what I mean? Even if they going through what I went through. See, I didn't reach out to nobody to talk to, but I should have. So you give kids a face. You give them a big brother. You give them resources to talk to. And
Absolutely.
Because when me talking to certain people, like I did talk to Dennis Shaw and stuff, when stuff was different, I did call up, Coach Bell too.
Right.
So when I talked to them, it did change my mind.
Right.
But I didn't want to call them as much. But I'm trying to tell these kids that the more you call them older brothers, the more you call them older, father figures in your life, the more you'll be more stable.
That's what they're here for.
That's what they here for.
That's it. And listen, you might get corrected, you might get reprimanded, but you will always receive love. And that's the one thing about me. My dad was strict, bro. When I say, bro, he'd break any little thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so for me, when he died, man, I ran to the street. I was always looking for that man, like, oh yeah, guide me, help me. I was 12, 13 years old in the street, right? Running the street, right? Then I turned 16, I started selling drugs, and it was over after that. I didn't need no man to tell me anything because I made my own money, right? So it's like, you're 23 years old, correct?
Yep.
You have the rest of your life ahead of you, right? 7 years until you're 30.
Yeah.
Well, that's typically when they start. So literally, you could go to college right now and be who you are and become the man and still reach your dream.
You still reach my dream.
You know what I mean? But you can also help other children in the city of Chester.
Yep.
Are you coaching with any of the teams? Or are you?
I have something working with the Chester Panthers right now that I'm still looking into.
Awesome. And listen, whatever you need, you got the radio station, man. You trying to come through here with the coaches and talk to the coaches about life lessons, right? I don't have no problem with that, right? I think, if we don't help each other, each one teach one, each one reach one. You feel me? We don't helping each other. We're not reaching our hand out to help each other. We're really pushing each other back down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So if you ever feel weak, bro, reach out, talk to somebody. If you out there watching right now, ever feel upset, and I'm gonna let him talk. He got something he want to say to y'all. If you ever feel upset, man, reach out, talk to somebody, man. Everybody know my phone number. Call my phone. My phone number is on the cmpradio.net is my phone, right? Call it right now. I'll answer it. But he's here as well. Coach Charles is here. Coach Musa, Coach Skip. You feel me? Like the brothers that are out here trying to help the community. Like love football the way they do. Coach Shaw, the Shaw brothers, man. Like it's so many of them, bro, and they all do one thing particularly well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and they're good. They're good brothers, man. So you want to make sure these brothers are able to reach these children. You want to make sure these brothers, sisters. You want to make sure these brothers are able to talk to these children. I get it. I do. I understand. There's a lot of pain out here. A lot of people feel used. A lot of people feel lied to. A lot of people feel Like they can't trust anybody, but you have to trust someone.
You have to trust someone.
You have to make yourself vulnerable to receive all the blessings of His Majesty, bro. Like, yeah, that's where I'm at. But go ahead, man. Say what you want to say. You know, I think it's important. Right? So go ahead. Do your thing.
I just think in the city of Chester, we just need to all come together. As far as with these kids, you know, coming up from middle school, from Chester Community Charter School to going to either Chester High or STEM. You know, that's really the bridge point. When you're coming from middle school to high school, that's the bridge point. And then when you're in high school, that's when certain things start coming your way. You got fights, you got girls, you got different things.
Starts the fights.
Yeah.
Clothes,
so
right.
we got to find a way to put a log in from middle school to high school. We got to find a plug, and we got to plug it.
Absolutely.
Rather it's sports, or rather it's starting programs around the city, or rather it's guys like me, or that's my age that's stepping up and talking to these kids. Absolutely. We're trying to help these kids.
Yes.
You know, you only can do what you can do, and you can't change the world, but you can put a dent in it for sure.
Yeah.
So
you can't change the world as big as it is, but one person. I say this all the time, man. One person is a world, bro.
Yeah.
You changing one person is changing that person's world, and that person changed the world, and so on and so forth. It was a commercial back in the day. You sleep with this girl, that she sleep with somebody else. Like you can reach 1 million people if you have faith in the one person that you're trying to reach.
Exactly.
And you push them, and they go on and push somebody else, and so on and so forth, man. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
It's good, but it got to be so powerful that everybody has to come together.
Absolutely.
Because it comes to a point where you don't even know why you out there. And that was my thing. You know, even after my house, you know, situation with my house, I really just didn't understand it at all. Even before I even jumped out there. Like when I used to talk to cats from around my area or anywhere, and I used to ask certain people like, why is it beef? Most people didn't even know.
No, it just is. I don't like them. They don't like
because we from a neighborhood and another group of guys from a different neighborhood. Right. Once you really look at it, that's stupid. We ain't beefing about a neighborhood that we don't even own. We just live here on Section 8. We living here we just living here. And most of the guys live near each other. Right. And now one person went to one side, another person went to another side. Right.
And now we got beef.
At 23, even at 21, it's stupid and it's senseless and it's pointless. And I just came to a point where I got kind of fed up with it. You know, like even guys around my area that I was from, you know, some of them I still conversate with, some of them I don't. But I conversate with some of them and we still talk, and it's like a lot of people want to chill, but I feel like everybody done a lot to each other into the street. So it's like most people don't forgive and forget, but it comes to a point like it's affecting the kids now. Because don't forget, the beef that was in my era is spilling over to kids that was 10 years old. Absolutely. You know, when I was in high school. So it's like you got kids coming up watching us, like literally kids from our neighborhood. Like it's like legit like 20 kids around the McCaff, my area where I'm from. And they all watch me play football, watch me blossom from the Panthers to the Clippers. Right. And then once they see me in the streets, I feel like I put a log up there too. Like, oh wow, well he was just playing.
He was like, I'm going to the streets.
So I'm going to the streets.
I'm never going to make it to the NFL.
But if I would have kept pushing, it would be a lot of kids pushing. Right. More so like, oh well, it's cool to do this. Right. So I just think we all need to come together.
Yes, we do.
Stop it at a point. I mean, it just got to be that way. You know what I mean? Because it's selfish to the kids. Because growing up, your mind ain't mature like that. So you only doing what you see. But if we show them different they gonna do different. Now like I said, everybody ain't gotta be a football player or a basketball player. You don't have to be a sports player to be a good kid in Chester. No, you actually could be yourself. Yes. It ain't nothing wrong with being yourself. And that's what's wrong with a lot of kids. You know, it's nothing wrong with being cool, walking by yourself with your earphones in. You ain't got to be in a group.
My son is that, and I'm trying to break him out of that. But you know, he told me. So I went to Chester High School. Lord knows I didn't want to go to Chester High School. I went to Holy Ghost Ukrainian Catholic School, K through 8th grade. And I wanted to go to Mount Vernon Prep. Mount Vernon Prep accepted me. You feel me? 75% tuition. My mom didn't want to pay it. She said she couldn't afford it, right? That broke my heart. So I said, all right, you can't afford it. I'm going to go in Chester High and I'm going to be a nut. And that's what I became. I was a nerd. I love reading. I love any challenge. I'm going to figure it out. You feel me? And I didn't do what I should have done. So I ran the streets, and I kept on running the streets until I went upstate. And I was 26, and I went up there. My son was born, and I said, I ain't doing this shit no more. I looked at him, and I saw a repeat of me. And I said, nah, nigga, you can't do this shit.
Exactly.
You feel me? I don't want you in this lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to change. I didn't change for another 10 years, and I started a radio station, but it took a while for me to understand what I wanted.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I was so far gone from not knowing myself. You know what I mean? It's important for kids at a younger age to go to college and go away so they can understand who they are and put things prep you for life. You know what I mean? And I ran from that. So I ran the streets. I got locked up. I dropped out of college and got locked up that following year up Philly with a gun. 55th and Pine, 18 years old, first ever charge. Oh, I'm done. I was a criminal from that point on. Every year I was getting locked up. Every year I was doing something stupid, right? So it's just like you have to value yourself.
Yes,
you know what I mean? But you need men. You need men in your life that value themselves, telling you how special you are, how much you can do, telling you that anything is possible.
Yes.
I really didn't believe that until I went to therapy. My therapist said, man, you 16. I said, why you say I'm 16? He said, you have not grown from the time you was 16. That's 20 years ago. Everything that you know, everything that's valuable to you, you learned at 16 how to sell drugs. Once I learned that, I made money. Nigga, you can't tell me nothing. I'm good. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to be all right. But that wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Looking at my son now, he's Archbishop Carroll. He wants to play football. He's playing football, you know. Yeah. But he doesn't really want to play. You know what I mean? But he's doing it because he likes the camaraderie and likes being around the guys. So it's like, all right, cool. But, you know, I tell him every day, if you want to be great at something, you got to be willing to give up all the things that don't make you great.
Exactly, yeah.
You feel me? And listen, I can come back. I'll be back. Or, man, I don't need you. You know what I mean? You have to be able to do that. And listen, I learned that being here at the radio station, you know, people come either for a reason or a season. Yep. You feel me? And, you know, when they leave, you got to let them go. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're not mad at anything, but the same thing with you, right? You know, you had to go through life. 2018, you said, I'm done with football. I'm going to the street. Go out to the street, and the street met you in your face.
Right in my face, yeah.
Because it was already meeting you in your house.
Yep.
So bullets flying, life spared, you looking, he hit, you not hit. That was it for you.
That was it, yeah. Was one of the reasons, yep.
Then you have a son.
I have a son, yeah.
And then you said, oh, no. I got to make sure he understands.
He definitely, yeah. That was one of the main things. Once he came out, I said from then on, like, I'm going to put a dent in the city. I'm going to definitely stamp my name towards though. I don't want my son to ever grow up and hear that his dad was doing anything besides helping the youth in his community.
Absolutely.
And great things.
Right.
I don't want my son to ever in his life, you know, to think that his dad was the average Joe. And I always, as soon as I laid eyes on him, I said, you know what? I'm going to be honorable.
Right. Honorable.
I'm going to be honorable.
Be a man of honor.
I'm going to be a man of honor. And I'm going to do what I was been supposed to do instead of doing the other thing. Because if my son grow up, right, and I'm raising my son and I'm still getting into stuff where my car getting shot up, right? And my son growing up and he's seeing this thing. He's seeing me with my pants sagging. He's seeing me not really groomed. He's seeing me like that.
Being disrespectful,
what do
all that
you
good
think
stuff.
My son going to be?
He's going to be 10 times worse than you.
But then if you see me with the youth, talking to the youth, playing at football camps, helping out kids with a Big Brother program.
He's going to be 10 times better than you.
He's going to be 10 times better than me. So that's my goal with my son. He don't have to play football. That's not what I'm going for. That's something I want, but it's nothing I'm going for. I want him to be the best young man into a man that he can be.
Damn.
And I want it to start from his father, not from nobody.
Not from nobody else.
I don't want him looking nowhere else for a father figure.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you said man of honor. We have I told you I have a nonprofit that I'm trying to get started. You know, trying to identify the men of honor in our community, right, and get them to sit on the board. again, go out there into the community, clean up the community. Same thing, like Chestorians, understanding, like me and Charles always talked about, putting things together that shows our children how to behave, right? Conflict, how to handle conflict, how to handle arguments, how to handle, having an issue with somebody. Like, you have to communicate that. You have to talk. You have to talk. You're not communicating it, nothing gets solved and things just get worse progressively. We look at our city. I love my city. Everybody, I got so many friends that are not from the city of Chester that always call me. They're like, bro, like, you always talk about how you love your city. What has your city ever done for you? I said, my city showed me how to be a man. My city groomed me into the man you see today. You feel me? My father had a lot. He put a lot of the foundation together, but everything else I got from this city, bro. The heart that I have, I got from this city. The fact that I don't let nobody come in here and do anything crazy, I got that from this city, right? So I love my city. Anybody in the city that's doing anything great, I support them 150,000% if I can. You know what I mean? So, that's how we grow. That's how we evolve. That's how we turn this community, these neighborhoods, into a community, is by doing things for each other, helping each other, standing pat and standing firm, and also holding people accountable. If you have friends that are out there running the street and picking up guns and shooting at old people, that's what you're shooting at when you're shooting at a bunch of people on the corner and you don't really know who you're trying to aim at. You're just firing your gun, because when you hit an old lady, then you feel bad. Then it's a problem. So you're shooting at old people. You're not really shooting at anybody out there in particular. You're hurting your community. You're hurting the people around you, right? So just have a conversation. I don't like how you talk to me, bro. You want to box? Let's go to the boxing gym. You want to fight? Let's go put these gloves on, get this fight over with, and at the end we go get something to eat, right? We squash it because we got bigger shit to fry, bro. And I when you said you wanted to come through, I was all for it, man. Like I said, whatever you want from me, you got it. You feel me? The station, we got to come. We got to go down to the Charles Thompson to his football camp. You want to talk to the kids? I got your back, man. Whatever you need from me, I'm here. But I want you to tell the kids, man, everything you want to say, man. Go ahead.
Another thing is, we got to learn, like I said, to come together. We got to learn to let the macho men, let them be macho men. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of guys out here that's so macho and just think that they can do what they want when they want. But you got to let them guys go ahead. You can't stoop down to their level, because you're going to give them what they want.
Every time.
So it's like a lot of the macho men out here, you just let them go. A lot of people not going to fight for positivity. Some people like negativity. But we got to outweigh the good. You know what I mean? Like, we got to make sure we outweigh the bad, basically what I'm to say.
Right, absolutely.
With it. So if we all, like, even if we start to get these kids together, just talking to them or anything, or giving them football camps or giving them different things, more playgrounds or something like that, because it came to a point where I didn't see no kids on the playground in Chester.
Why would you see kids on the playground?
I don't even see no kids on the playground in Chester. That was one point that I was like, wow, I don't even see kids like that. Well, I didn't see kids like that. Now, some starting to come out, but it just was so dangerous in the city, and it still is kind of dangerous, but it's so dangerous in the city where it's like, you don't even know kids out here. The older people were scared to come out. That's horrible. You got older people scared to come out their doors.
On their porch.
Usually older people sit on their porch, listen to their music, maybe drink or something. You ain't going to see that no more. I don't even see that no more. No older people. You usually have older people walk stores.
No.
You don't see it no more.
No.
And it's sad that these older people going through that, because us young boys
on site and
going
everything.
through something because Ray didn't hit Tay Tay baby mom. Like, so it's horrible. Like, we can't even let these old folks sit, because every time us young boys is shooting, we ain't doing nothing but hitting Miss Mabel house. We ain't hitting nobody else. We ain't hitting the target. We ain't hitting nothing. So it's senseless, and we hurting the community. Absolutely. That's why the community don't bow down with us. That's why older people usually call the cops on young boys, even when they ain't doing nothing. It's because we got them so scared in their homes, and we didn't planted this seed into these neighborhoods where we got these older people so scared.
It's respect.
How you think they calling the cops on you?
It's respect. When I was on the streets, I went to the east side, right? And it was always respect for me. Respect the old lady on the corner house, right? Don't disrespect her. If she don't want you hanging out here, you feel me? Don't hang out here. Exactly, don't be loud by her window, bro. She trying to go to sleep. She got to get up in the morning. Constantly always telling people, you feel me? And everybody like, man, come on, man. You sound like a preacher. Like, you know what? Maybe I am. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing, right? But then once you figure it out and once it all comes together, man, things get to evolving, man. So I'm proud of you, bro. Like, I'm proud that you saw what you wanted. You realized who you could be for your son. And you realized you could be more for your community too. It makes no sense, and I say this all the time, to keep your grass cut and your next door neighbor's grass is growing wild.
Yep.
Anything can be in that grass.
Anything could be in there.
And you let your kid play close to that grass and something reach in and grab your son, right? How would that make you feel knowing that you could have cut that grass? You feel me? Next door, another half an hour.
Yep.
You could have had that grass cut and then that wouldn't have happened to your son. So go out there into the community, man. Make sure you talk to the young men that are around your son when he grows up, the young men before your son. Make sure they're showing the young men that are going to be around your son how to be a man, because it costs a lot.
Yes,
it takes a whole lot of energy, bro, to be out here and be fake. And we got tons of brothers, man, that are trying to change their life, that are understanding, and we got to help. Like, I can't talk about it. I got to be about it. I got to be serious.
A lot of these men don't want to step out into the spotlight like I am, because a lot of people don't want to be called sucker. They don't want to be called he copping out. That's what they say. You know, he copping out. He doing this and that.
I didn't sign up.
Me personally, I don't care.
I didn't sign up.
I don't want to die. I never wanted to die.
I don't want my son to die.
I don't want my son to die. I don't even want my son to. It's a lot of these kids don't even have their father right now. So if I'm going to be a sucker, I'm going to be all that because I want to step in the spotlight and help the youth. I'll be that.
I'll be that.
I ain't got no problem with being that.
Like I said, no, that's fear. It's all fear.
Yep.
Everybody's scared of something.
Everybody's scared.
You feel me? No one wants to commend the person that's standing at the top doing the most work because they're scared that person will overshadow them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they'll say, oh, yeah, you're not really doing anything, and they'll put you down. Oh, he's a sucker. He's a square. I'd rather
be all that.
I'd rather be a square than to be who you are and go where you're going to go. You feel me? Like, I'd rather help you on the other end and help your kids than to sit here and think of myself, oh, I'm wrong for turning, or I'm wrong for not being out there in the street. I'm good. I'm straight.
I don't want it. I never wanted it.
Never wanted it. And I appreciate you stopping through, bro. Like I said, man, anytime you want to come through here, you just want to talk, we can do it. I ain't got no problem doing that. Anything you want to say before you leave?
Nothing really. Let's just try to get these things together. I'm going to reach out to Nasir Leach. I went to school with him.
Absolutely.
You know, he's over there in City Hall.
Right.
I'm going to try to get some of these camps together, try to get a lot of things in motion. You know, I got the people to do it. People I could reach out to: Charles Thompson, Dennis Shaw, head coach of the football team, Lamar Shaw, offensive coordinator, the whole Chester High School in general. I know they will back the play of it. Is just got to put everything in motion and try to get everything, because I know they got a lot going on right now too.
Yeah, they do.
Like I said, Chester program is expanding crazy. That's a shout out I want to give out to.
Right.
The whole Chester High, period, from the whole thing. It's just all the culture has changed, and it can keep changing.
Why has the culture changed?
It changed because now, I'm not saying people that, you know, coach didn't really get into these kids, but you got to look at,
let's keep it a bean.
Who's in the office now. Now look how Dennis Shaw, Lamar Shaw, LaDonte Bell. Bell was always for the kids. LaDonte Bell was always for the kids. I don't take nothing from Bell. Bell is an amazing man.
There is no school if it's not for the kids.
If it's not for the kids. And now you see that now, though. It's all about the kids now. They break their neck for the kids now.
It's not about, oh, I ain't worried about that. They ain't paying me enough money for this. No, it's about the kids.
It's about the kids.
It's about reaching out to the kids. It's about making sure they're safe. I see Coach Bell when he driving that Chester Clippers.
Drive it.
You feel me? Like, I see him, man. And, you know, sometimes I pray. I know I pray for the wrong things. I'm like, man, if I was to hit the Powerball, bro, like the Mega Million, like I wouldn't leave the city. I would just make sure my city is straight.
Yeah.
You feel me? I make sure the kids are straight. I would make sure the football programs, everybody got their own fucking field. You want your own football program? All right, no problem. You got your own field. You feel me? Make sure the basketball's straight. Make sure the smart kids are straight. They got computers and laptops, every fucking thing. Like, but you know, that's a wish. That's a wish.
That's a wish, yeah.
You know what I mean? And outside of a wish, I just want everybody to continue doing what they're doing. There's enough men in our city.
Yes, it is. Enough powerful men
where you can stay in your lane and still have success. You don't have to be a lane drifting. You feel me? You don't have to try to swipe over and jump in his lane because he's moving past. You know, you stay in your lane and you'll have success. I've done that. I haven't shifted. I'm not going to go and do live performances and I'm cool right here where I'm at.
Right where I'm at, yeah.
You know what I mean? CMPradio.net, man. When your next game?
I think we play. I think next Saturday.
Where
I don't know the location yet,
right.
but I think we play against New Jersey Jackals over at semi-pro league. I'm in.
All right, man. I'm proud of you, bro. However, I can help you again. Charles Thompson know that that infinite men of honor, man. That's a real situation. So we might need to sit down and really put that together, man, because it's important that our city comes together. It's important that our city brings good energy and we clean up the city the way the city should be cleaned up.
The way it should be.
Right. So, yeah, man, this is Uncle P, man. This was the Cultivating Mature Positivity studio. This guy right here, this is Nudie. Where you get that nickname from?
My mom. We used to sneak in the ashtray and eat the cigarette butt.
You used to eat the cigarette butts?
Yeah. When I was a kid. So she just gave me that.
Nudie!
Stuck with
Get your ass out of that cigarette. What's up, Mom? Man? Like,
I know she watches.
You raised extremely courteous, a strength-driven young man, right? Know that. And he's going to make you happy. He's going to do good things for his son, man. Proud of you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Listen, man, anybody want to be interviewed by Uncle P, you want to come through here and tell your story, hit us up at info@cmpradio.net. Again, I'm your boy, Uncle P, community optimist. This guy right here is a semi-pro football player from Chester, Pennsylvania, but he has a heart of gold and he's trying to give back to the community. Listen to him, man. I don't know where he's going to pop up, but whenever he pop up, I'll be there, man. It's cmpradio.net. We're out of here.